eVTOL Weekly, episode 17. My name's Liam, and I've got my
Mum,
co-host here, Race.
let's go. Yeah, big week.
Race, it actually has been. Do you know what it is? Yeah, I don't know what day of the week it is. I feel like I'm live streaming every single day now, whether it's Rocket Lab, switching the head back to eVTOL. But no, I'm quite excited for today. Guys, please let me know in the comments whether my mic is okay today and my picture quality, just because you'll remember my laptop went down there about a month ago. I've only just got it back, so all the settings are all over the place. But Reese, any news before we get into eVTOL? It's been a while.
Well, yeah, I think that something that's just happened, and I do apologise to everyone here for being a little bit late, but something that happens once in a blue moon. Tottenham won a trophy, and
We don't want to go into war tomorrow because of it. Oh my god!
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, that's the Arsenal's biggest rival, and they've won a European trophy. So fair play to them for that. But yeah, I know I'm going to get a bit of stick now. I've already had a few texts come through, but
yeah, my phone was going wild.
Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, fair play to them for doing that. But on other news, I think there's been quite a lot happening in the eVTOL space, and it seems that it's really heating up at the moment.
Newblade, all I'll say is sound and image quality wise. Is that a good thing, a bad thing? Please let me know. Congrats to Spurs. Yeah. I'm not bitter at all. Race, we've an awful lot to talk about. Feels like we haven't spoken in a while. We have a big announcement today. I think I'm going to let the crowd build in. We do have a special guest tomorrow that we're going to interview. Comments, please let me know who you think it is. Yeah, we're going to talk about something major that happened this week. We had Culper's short report. I know many creators feel like they have addressed it. I want to address it in the Hosser Brothers way. We have a little bit of controversy, shall we say, between Archer and Joby and the 2028 Olympics. I really want to address that and sort of bash a few ideas together with you and sort of see, can we see who's going to benefit? Is it going to benefit both and so forth? Then another major one, HOVR. We started covering New Horizon. I was very impressed at technology, to be fair. We're going to dive into that. I've done a little bit more diving into them too. And do you know what? I really think they're a nice prospect to keep looking at. So anyone that doesn't know anything about New Horizon aircraft, we're going to cover that as well today. But guys, please let me know, what do you want us to start off with? Do you want it to be the Culper report, or will we just let that drag on a little bit more? What I want to do, Reese, I want to address some of the comments early on.
Yeah, that's not so
we have Hydra here. Hydra's a big investor in HOVR. We have my co-host for the Haste Club. We have Christopher Bow here himself. Guys, anyone that's invested in Rock Lab, any sort of interest in Rock Lab, whether you're invested, whether you're just interested in space at all, this guy has some amazing ideas, amazing concepts. And you know what? Even after the live stream yesterday, I must have sat on with Christopher for an hour, just talking about life in general. So this guy is amazing. I do love my time with Christopher. Yeah, so we're waiting on a Hosser brother. Passion for football is intense. But a Hosser over here. So there's a big announcement incoming. Guys, make sure to smash the like button here. We need this shared out to as many eVTOL fans as possible. Just because for a certain company, I believe this is going to be one of the biggest announcements of their quarter. And that's not taken away from anything they do, but it will be one of the biggest announcements. Hydra, yeah, you can take over. Do you know what, Reese? I've introduced a concept into Haste Club where, do you know what? I haven't introduced it to the eVTOL guys, so let me go there first. So really, myself and yourself are mad into football, yeah? And we watch fan channels like AFTV and stuff like that. But there's everyday fans that come on. And I said, why don't we get a little bit more engaging. And if people want to call in, have their thoughts, just have a quick word with us. As long as you're respectful, we don't mind you coming in, sharing your thoughts, whether you're bullish, bearish. Tell us what stock you are heavily involved in. And yeah, I just think it'd be a lot more engaging.
I do like the sound of that, giving everyone a voice. And that's what I think that we endorse here. We like to make sure that everyone, no matter how big of an investor or even just an enthusiast, or even if you just want to get something off your chest and bounce some ideas off us, at the end of the day, we're just regular lads that are also interested in these sort of stocks, new technology, and we're trying to see the future, I think, and hopefully this is the big one. But yeah, to me, I'd be very interested in getting people on and hearing what everyone has to say.
Well, do you know what it is? We've always said our philosophy is we need to create a hive mind. We need as much opinions as we can get, and we don't want to. Do you know what it was? Me and Christopher actually were speaking about this, and we were saying he was watching a big basketball stream, and we were sort of talking about it, and we were like, many channels only speak to people that pay, like super chats and stuff like that. And I said to Christopher, like, that's not the way we want to go, because just because you have a following or just because you have money doesn't mean you're any smarter than anyone else. And I want the guys to realize me and you are just two average working men. Look, you can tell we follow football. We're not stuck behind the screen 24/7. We do have full-time jobs. I'm currently changing job at the moment, and it makes me a lot more flexible in regards to creating videos and creating content. So you'll see I'm a lot more engaged on X over this last week, and we're going to grow that out too. But again, anyone that ever wants to reach out with us, if you want to even jump on with us, Newblade, I do apologize. I completely missed him last day. There was a miscommunication between time zones. Did you notice we were getting a call at like 3 in the afternoon or 4 o'clock in the afternoon one day? And I was like, no, that was my fault. So Newblade, I
had to turn off the phone.
Yeah. But yeah. So if anyone wants to call in, give me a shout. GB, I'm actually getting quite close to this boy here. We talk quite a bit on Discord. So how are we getting on? He follows absolutely everything we do. So all respect to that. Christopher, he missed you yesterday, you know. He really missed you. GB's all okay. Hello, everyone. Glad to see you there. Let's boost the live with the like and subscribe if you're not already. And do you know what? We don't say it enough because we don't want it to be a big trying to sell ourselves. But if you're big into eVTOLs and you want to share the news, the biggest thing you can do is like and subscribe, because what that does, it does boost the algorithm. Congrats to Spurs. We're just going to wave over that. All I'll say is on image quality wise, well played. Also on image quality for you. Oh, good for me. Thank you so much. I actually thought I was you're goodie. Hey, Newblade. Let's talk HOVR. There's a lot of HOVR. Brandon Robinson. Guys, does anyone know who Brandon Robinson is? That's a little bit of a interesting one. I want to see who knows who Brandon Robinson is. And please let me know. And if anything, Brandon Robinson has been very engaged in our comments over the last 2 hours. If you know, you know. All good sound quality wise. You're welcome, Haste Club. Not mod yet, apparently. I will upgrade you to mod after this. Tell us more about it. Should I buy more Archer? We're going to discuss Archer. Here at the Hustle Brothers, we'll never tell you when to buy or sell. All we'll ever do is have a discussion between myself and Race and see, would we buy or sell? We're not financial advisors, and trust me, if we were, you wouldn't want to be following us for financial advice, because trust me, I wouldn't be sitting here and Reese wouldn't be sitting there. Would be on some island somewhere if we knew everything that was going to happen. But who was it? Was it New Blade? Or was it Terry? Someone said to me, us guys are very, very good at our investments and knowing everything about it, but our timing is very poor. And I did let the guys know, like last week, I sold out of Archer Aviation, my 20%. I took that cut at 11.50, and we did pump up to, it was around 13.50 or so, wasn't it? But look, we're below that again today, so swings and roundabouts and that.
Yeah, exactly that.
You never walk alone. Sorry, boys. Just me. We're due for bounce, in my opinion, but in a downtrend channel 2 on Archer. We will get into all that. So let's do the call this week with Dylan. 100% New Blade. Really, I'll put it out here now. Me and Reese aren't available till around 7:30 p.m. GMT. Anything before that, we're not normally available. But yeah. My daughter plays centre back, and she's a beast. You guys would be fans. Do you know what? I had my slag in centre back at one stage, and as I went to uni, I went into defensive midfield. But I'm in no condition for
these days.
Central midfield. I wouldn't even be conditioned for centre back at the bench at the moment, bro. New Blade, thank you, welcome. Join the Discord. I'll share an updated charts after the stream. New Blade's actually quite good in charts. New Blade, would you actually be interested in coming on some of our streams and sharing your charts? I know you are really passionate about the likes of the charts, and we don't particularly focus on the numbers that much, just because we come on here once a week, and I think it'd be very boring for us to just have an hour full of numbers and charts. And I've said it in the Rocket Lab Paste club that, look, we normally cover charts, financials, all of that in smaller videos. If you ever look at our videos, the smaller ones are the financial ones, just so you can go back, they're easy access, and we break them down for the average retail investor, just like ourselves to read. I don't really like doing big, long live streams on charts, but if that's something you guys are really interested in, we're happy to do it. And what price do you think it'll go down to? Archer, I'm looking for $12 by the end of the week. GB, I'm new to eVTOL. Love to hear more. Do you know what, Chris? At any point you want to call in, because I want to sort of integrate that into it too. Chris talks an awful lot to the experienced investors in Rocket Lab, and then he's very good at switching it down for the beginner investors. I know Bagger Holding came to one of our streams, and he's starting to get big into Rocket Lab. I like the vibe in here. Do you know what? We're a lot more chill. We'll have a little bit of banter. We're not all about seriousness, and that when we need to be serious, we are. The guys have been here before when we've had major breaking news in chats, and yeah, it does. It gets a bit wild. We're very emotional, but that's about it. I think we have a 3-year run up to the peak, so we can all enjoy the up and down, and that's what it's going to be for now, guys, until we have anything. I love Archer and HOVR with a big announcement coming soon, and it does include one of them. We'll talk about first 100% New Blade. I know Dylan had an awful lot of value taken away from your call with him. Just bought loads of HOVR. Well done. What price you get in at? Dean 750. But lost about the short seller making a bet with thoughts about the short seller making a bet with Jimmy Fallon. We are going to cover that, I promise you.
That's going to be a big part, yeah.
Rocket Lab will go nuts. Neutron go live. Great vibe, guys. So great to see you, Reese. You eVTOL guys are great. And you know what? You introduced us to Rocket Lab, and I'm so excited to keep it going. Sorry for typos. Never worry about the typos. I'm the worst at typing. Any of the guys here will know I am shocking when I'm replying. They get about 3 or 4 messages from me where it's like pure shenanigans. So we got a gap near. Get a chance to look at American drones. Do you know what? We have a big announcement. American drones is going to be one I want to start covering this week too. We got quite positive feedback when we done HOVR. I actually didn't realize how much of you guys follow HOVR and had heard about HOVR. And it was only me and Reese were speaking. We were like, do you know what? Why don't we cover them? Why don't we give them a shot? And when we actually got into it, I got really excited hearing about the technology and everything. But what we're going to do, anyone that's on X at the moment, jump across to YouTube because we're about to make a big announcement. If we get 10 comments saying, do the announcement, we'll do the announcement on that button. But Reese, Archer, I got comments there on one of my videos. He said to me, please stay away from Archer, leave it to real investors. I was like, what? And it was because I said that I could see a pullback happening. Yeah. The pullback happened. Lo and behold, the pullback did happen.
Surprise.
We say it on weekly that whatever goes up quickly goes down quickly. We're like sharks. We buy in the red days when there's blood in the water. It's all going swimmingly, going green. We either sell our 20% or we do nothing. Reese, by any chance, did you get out at your eye? I didn't ask you. Did you get
no? Okay, guys, I'll hold my hands up on this one. I needed coal, to be honest, and I think we missed the one last week. And yeah, I've read it up and I've read it back down again. But once we get the old time high, nah, I didn't. I get caught up in it, but this time I'm gonna do it. I'm starting to sound a bit like the broken clock. Like it's wrong, but I will get it right one time.
Do you know what? One of us fires too early, and the other fires blanks. So like.
But yeah, as I've said, I'm not too worried at the moment. It's in a very healthy position, and that's just me being greedy because I want to add up some more. And I did say I was going to do it, so that's the thing that is kind of disappointing. But as long as I'm holding it long, I'm looking for the bigger picture. I'm not really too worried.
Yeah. So really, I want to focus on Archer starting off. So we have do the announcement, guys. It's such a pleasure in non-AI stock community. Guys, jump into chat. Let me know if you want the announcement. If not, I can carry on. But before we get into Archer, get a chance to look at American drones. Do you know what we'll do this week? We're looking at American drones. If it takes us out of a certain video, I don't care. We need to do what the guys are telling us to do because when we listen to the community, we found an absolute gem in HOVR. So I really do think we need to start looking. I don't think this eVTOL space is all about Archer, Joby, E-Hang, and vertical. I do think there's some diamonds in the rough in there. And I'm very interested to talk about HOVR as well and the comparisons with Lilium's technology, but we'll get onto that. So anyway, we're down 8.61% this week, Archer. Now, guys, can anyone tell me why are we down 8.6%? Yes, we were expecting a pullback. But it was pushed down. What we're going to get into it.
Yeah.
This is a short report.
Yeah,
so, guys,
this is what I think is the main reason that's really come out. And I think it did create a lot of fear. I've seen a lot of people on X and posting, and I think for anyone that's sort of new in it, you would react to it by hearing that, and it would sort of scare you. But as we were saying, this has happened to Rocket Lab. Like, these things do come out, and I think you need to give the company time to debunk it and prove that it's not all it's made up to be in terms of the report.
Yeah. I just want to address KD, the entire market. You could be right. However, Archer dropped significantly on this report. The entire market has gone down. due to bond auctions over the last few hours, but this happened in Archer over the last few days. So I want to go through the short report. I was actually quite interested. I was going to drop a video straight away, and I actually thought, do you know what? Yeah, we're always the first responders. So do you know what? It might actually be nice to let other guys respond and see what they were saying, because I didn't want them to just follow what the HOVR brothers said.
Yeah, no, sensible.
And we'll get into that. But I think, from what I've seen, the majority of people are agreeing with Colpa. Now, we're going to go through it, and we're going to see what the HOVR brothers' thoughts are on this.
Yeah, let's go.
So, Colpa are short on Archer Aviation. They're extending a 1 million wager. That sounds like something me and you would do. Extend a 1 million wager to Jimmy Fallon, who has earned millions to promote Archer. Jimmy, if you truly believe in Archer, prove it. Our offer and our full report now available. So we all know that Adam Goldstein went on Jimmy Fallon, and look, we'll call a spade a spade. It was to promote Archer. Is that a bad thing? No. How many people are going on Piers Morgan at the moment? Do you think there's never money exchanged there? I know Piers does pay them, but like, if you want to get out there, you have to pay for it. Look, if we wanted to have an interview with Jimmy Fallon, we'd have to pay for it. So I don't know what the big deal is there. I would have expected them to pay for it. So that's fact one. Look, how can you give a 1 million wager to Jimmy Fallon to fly on this until it does take off? And I know they give him until 2028 to fly on it. But I'm telling you, if they're flying in the Olympics, Jimmy Fallon will be part of it, because he was at the New York announcement. So, do you know what? I took it a pinch of salt, that first comment. So we believe Archer has systematically lied about Midnight's progress in the LTM to conceal underlying aircraft stability issues, and it's a sham transition flight. Archer's claim to near-term commercialization is not only premature but reckless. Don't take our word for it.
I think that's that's they're sort of sensationalizing this and making it sound a lot worse than it is. When you draw it back, like, they're making it sound like it's reckless. But like, at this moment in time,
Adam was clear. He came out and said that there's FAA delays and everything, and he said it was going to be. So I wasn't too shocked, but I don't think they're trying to conceal anything. Do you?
No, not at all. Just because a deadline's been pushed back doesn't mean that it's a sham. And it's like, what was that? What was the car producer that they made, like a van, an electric van, and it turns out they were like driving it down the hill. It wasn't actually an electric van at all, or electric lorry. Like, that was an actual sham of a company. Whereas the Archer and Joby's are, like, they are pushing forward. If whether they are as far forward as they're saying, there might be a bit of discrepancy there, and I think we discussed that in the last earnings call. But Nicola,
save your stock, Nicola.
Oh God, yeah.
Reese got stung so badly with that. Yeah, I actually never touched that stuff. I actually think I was in. No. I'll tell you. Yeah, I was going through a mad phase at that stage. Remember, I was making like 1% here and 1% there, where I had Pepsi and Coca-Cola, and I was like putting them against each other. But I was leveraging like mad. Guys, we were really, really bad investors when we first started up. We weren't investors; we were traders.
Bad traders at that.
Reese made a very good point on one of the early streams. He said, if anything's too good to be true, or everyone wants this quick money, but if it's too good to be true, it is. Guys, we've got 19 people live on X here. If you jump across to YouTube and tell us in the comments if you want us to make this big announcement or not, because we can sit on it until after this if you want. It's just we can't see any comments come up from X at the moment. There's some from with our streaming software. No, Reese, these does scare me, this next one, a little bit. On February 27th, 2025, Archer claimed Midnight was fully assembled and finishing up ground tests. Yet Archer's emails were obtained via public request review. Archer's test flight crew didn't even have Midnight in their hands until March. Tough to do ground tests without an aircraft. No, we'll go into this. So wait, it was on February 18th. Hello, Shane. Okay, hands, and now the beginning of March. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
That one's a bit more hard to refute, isn't it?
I'm trying to defend them, but like,
yeah, that one, I think at times you just
it's a bit more of a white lie. That
yeah, that one's
sometimes you just gotta hold your hands up. That's a blatant lie.
that is 100%.
So I now think we're gonna say with this short report, I'm sort of giving Culper 1 out of 3 points so far. Yeah. So emails also reveal that as of April 28th, Archer's test flight crew hope high-speed ground tests will begin within several weeks. Again, Archer claims to investors it was finishing up ground testing a full 2 months earlier. I do think some of it is a little bit to do with language. Look, at the end of the day, I believe when you're a pre-revenue company, you do have to say, you have to alter your language a little bit to encourage investors when you haven't news. I don't think they've out and out lied. They haven't said they've completed the thing. I do think they're maybe pushing their timelines a little bit. But guys, don't we all? Like, if you have an exam or you have a project that's due at work, don't we all say, "Oh yeah, I'm close to finishing touches going on that"?
Or do you think it's like, if your boss asks you, "Have you done that?" and you're like, "Oh, I completely forgot about that," and you're like, "Yeah, it's pretty much done. It's pretty much done."
And I'd like to see some of these, like when they said they're finishing up ground tests and stuff like that. Is this in an interview where it could be a slip of the tongue sort of thing, and just like trying to like go with the vibe and like we can say things on here sometimes, and you're like, oh, maybe I went a little bit too far there.
And take it out of context, where you're just kind of getting the flow of it. I do think this is one of those ones where they've just embellished where they are in terms of their design, and as well the fact that they are competing with Joby, and they're probably looking at Joby, and Joby are pushing on with their design. They might have felt like they needed to feel like they were closer. And I'd quite like to know in the comments, has this changed how everyone perceives Joby? And is that like swaying people more towards Joby, or are we all still hardcore on Archer? I think this has been very interesting, and it goes to show every 3 months we seem to sway from one direction to the other. And I think that's why we've always said that we want to have backing on both horses in this race.
Like, we all knew that Archer were very, very, very heavy PR. So, like, when you're heavy PR, you either back it or you're going to get exposed. And I think what these are trying to do is expose them. But I think expose is a very hard word, because at the moment, I'm just seeing slips in language. So, on April 10th, the Salinas Fire Department visited Archer's hangar and posted photos the following day. These photos, however, showed Midnight in a state of disrepair, exposed internals, open panels, and wood. Do you know what? The Midnight is not certified yet, so like, of course they're going to be constantly adapt. They're making it sound like the craft is broken, the craft don't work, but like, look, it's undergoing.
Do you know what this reminds me of a lot is the remember that EHang report that we covered there, and that's one of our first videos. And they had like photos of like a security guard like sleeping on the job, and they went in, it was a factory was empty. And now it's like you fast forward till today and you see that EHang are flying with speed, and it's obviously the craft does work.
Well, what I find very interesting is this is very similar to what happened with Rocket Lab a few months ago, when a short report came out and it said they don't actually have water available for Neutron. Peter Beck very quickly came out and said, yes, we do it. He actually made a joke about it. Yeah, we do have water. Like, but I think the only way Archer can really go through this, like, look, they say just last week, Archer claimed it would fly next week. We've had investigators count. Yeah, but the only thing about that, look, I think they're really clutching at straws here. Yeah? They're after having a big week where they've announced the Olympics. They've been on Jimmy Fallon. And now they're coming at them for not flying. Like, look, I would have wanted them to fly. They did say they were gonna, but I'm not gonna like say that's a reason to short them. Because I can tell you if they come out next week and come with a flight test where it's blowing one of your points straight out of the water.
Exactly.
I can see here in the chat, your math is a scammer. Opinions. I don't think he done the best thing with Virgin Galactic, but I'm just bitter over that.
Yeah.
So, Archer CEO Adam Goldstein boasted he was invited to appear on Fallon. All sources say Archer paid them for their airtime and for Fallon's recent New York promotion. Yeah, but they're gonna pay you. Come on. He's not gonna say I paid to go on. Who have you ever, guys? In the comments, please jump in and tell me: have you ever seen someone go in on any chat show and go, "I paid to go on this"? They're all gonna say they're invited.
And they're all advertising a film or a book, or there's always something. There's always a catch or something that they need to be on there for. And I have never seen anyone post being like, "Oh, I've just paid to go on to Jimmy Fallon. Make sure you go and give it a watch." Because there is something about it that makes it feel like it's like inauthentic.
Goldstein also claims Archer's 2028 Olympic sponsorship shows the FAA is confident in the right partner. Industry sources suggest that Archer pay, and I do think they pay for that promotion.
Almost definitely. Yeah. I think a lot of the PR will, like, you don't get free advertisement, do you? And you don't get free endorsement. As if the Olympics are going around to the factories and testing out the engines and seeing what their manufacturing capabilities are. Like, at the end of the day, it's just a business transaction.
Newblade, if you can fire that, what you're saying, into this chat here. I just can't switch screens at the moment because I'm sharing my screen. So then, Archer's promotion misdirection conceals deeper problems, namely Midnight's sham transition flight and underlying instability. Claim Midnight's demonstrated full transition in June 24. We believe the event was staged to unlock Stellantis funding. Oh, come here. They're just firing down a whole FAA criteria require Midnight's art rotor to shut down and its two propeller blades fade. Yet Archer's own footage show not only did Archer keep blades spinning, but added two more. We think this conceal underlying stability issues, massive safety. Yeah, but the FAA will read into that. So that's not for us to worry about. We just are worried about them being FAA certified. I don't care how they do it. As long as they are. Wait a minute. Paid. No, but I did have to drive for a beer during yesterday's like, race. Did you see that? In the middle of the stream, this man goes off for a beer. That is my type of stream, bro. I just look up and I see him driving.
You get a lot with Chris's streams. You get canoeing, going out for a beer. I like it. He's bringing a new element to
laid back. It's something completely different. I really like it. The only thing that is strange though, like I'm sitting here talking, and you know when you're more or less sitting here looking at yourself, it's like doing your own video, but you're getting a response directly, and it is a little bit weird, but you get used to it after a while. While Archer insisted design was mature and needed no modifications, and the company was building 6 conforming aircraft, the company instead scrambled to overhaul Midnight's design in an attempt to fix stability problems. Is that not their job? Is their job not to fix any problems that may occur?
I think at this moment in time, they've kind of maybe jumped the gun on this. Like, I don't know about it. Might just be me, and I might be looking through tinted rose glasses, but I wasn't expecting them to have been like pretty much finished the design and at the stage now where they've like finalized everything. I think we knew they were still in the development phase of it, and I think we kind of discussed that in the last earnings. We'd read between the lines that they maybe weren't as far forward as we were sort of expecting or hoping they would be. But I think this is a bit of a witch hunt, really. I think they are sort of sort of hanging them out to dry. But I think they've sort of jumped the gun just a bit early. But
it was the ideal time to bring something like this out because they knew they'd scare the market, because the market was very frothy at the time. And all you needed, it was like, like a domino hanging over a cliff.
And especially the position where Archer was sitting, I was ready. I was just about to push the sell button on that 20% as well, and then then this came up. But I think they've obviously got exactly what they were after for this.
So the last one was to do with vibrations. Look, I'm sort of skimming over it now because they're on about the fuselage, the wing structure, the propellers. They're on about the design here. I think it's a load of fluff. I think it's to scare the market. Now, you will see, we try to deliver everything we can. We came out and said, that's why we pushed eVTOL Weekly back, because we said to them, come on for an interview. Yeah. We're open and honest here. But I want them to explain to me why. Like, I think we're one of the only live eVTOL streams that go covering absolutely every eVTOL company every week. And we are very heavy covering Archer. So why wouldn't you want to come on and explain your short report? Look, we weren't asking you to pay us. So it was an open invite. You can see it there. They've definitely seen it because 897 people have seen it. We can see Vaz done his own video with Archer exposed. Look, I don't think Archer were exposed, but who am I to say? Reese, I'm going to jump back to the comments here because I can see it all going wild. Newblade, I'm going to open your message now. So I'm going to... Reese, would you be able to address the comments there while I respond to Newblade?
Yeah, no worries. Let me jump into it. So I think where we left off was around...
Oh, Newblade, thank you.
So this is from GB Original NVIDIA. I think we have a... Oh, no, that's right. We've already done that one. That's...
I can take over here if you want.
I think this one's an interesting one from Drano84. Is anyone concerned about the Archer piloted flight or lack thereof?
Concerns a heavy word. I think it's in the process of, do I think Adam fluffed it a little bit to try and excite? Maybe. Like, Adam's a salesman.
Yeah, me and with what we just discussed, I think.
Me and some of the guys have actually spoken about this. Like, Adam is very good at sales and they are quite PR orientated. But like, of course he's going to try and rally up his company. If he believes that could be his actual deadline, he wanted the guys to get that done for, and they just may not have had it done in time. Or it could be a whole PR thing where, look, we were going to do Olympics, then Jimmy Fallon, then our flights. So
there is also the possibility he's saving it for a rainy day, because I feel like Archer have done that a few times when they do see it falling down.
Do the announcement, but make Reese do it. Okay. It's funny for HOVR because it felt dead until I shared the video. Yes, every day on Discord. Can Dylan or you guys share text in chat? Not being a mod, I can't. So I've shared that in the chat now. Guys, it's such a pleasure. Oh, I think we've done that. Announcement, please. I've got 100 or 250 shares now in New Horizon. We want the announcement. They want the announcement. Is anyone concerned we've done that? The entire market, go for it. Went up significantly. Yes. First pilot would be Jimmy. I feel HOVR. be more safe than Archer with the 1 billion watcher. I feel hover books are more safe than Archer, even with the. Oh, I like hover, but that's a bold statement. We do say some reckless things, but no, I'm not going to agree with that. I'm sorry. I'd like to agree with that, but no. That's funny, Reef. Joby got short set reports too, but they were quick to refute. Archer aren't so. Yes, Archer have Nikola Motors, Frano's Vice in my opinion. Yeah, but if they come out next week and they do a piloted flight test, well, you've kind of blown 19% of that short report out of the water. And then you could very stupidly owe Jimmy Fallon money if in the first promotional thing they do for Olympics that Jimmy Fallon is actually flying in it. The next thing, no, I don't know. Nikola was verging that thinks of electric vehicles. Reese sure knows that. If you hear easy money, run. HOVR is the stock for me. It's so big for everyone.
Yeah, it's huge.
That's why we just have to. So one of the announcements is we're now officially covering HOVR weekly because I asked 10 people to repost it, and I'd say we got it within the first day. I actually couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's quick.
I spoke to, I think he's meant to say Brandon today, CEO of HOVR. Where'd you speak to him? He told me a lot of interesting things about Archer. Who, Brandon did? Maybe. HOVR, I have 10,000 shares. Good man's on investment. Okay. So email the. Okay, guys, if you want to email people, please chat amongst yourselves privately. I don't really want people's emails being fired out on the stream. Question, guys: are there any possible military use case for eVTOL? There's lots. Archer defense and Joby's defensive deals have been done. HOVR is going to be very defense orientated. There's an awful lot of defense. That's what really got us interested in what you're doing with the haste and everything. It really got us. It felt like it was happening at the exact same time. Any news on Vertical? Vertical, were they? Let me jump across in a minute. Vertical did have a big announcement, and we will cover that. Great minds, mate. Emo. Okay, right. We're gonna drop the big announcement. So, guys, what I want you to do, please let me know if you're invested or are interested in HOVR, New Horizon Aircraft. I'll give you 10 seconds to post in to the chat. If Archer's float is too big, you guys were thinking it'll go higher for now. Guys, if you're interested in HOVR, you watch HOVR, or you want more content on HOVR, please let us know in the chat now. So, also, can anyone tell me who is Brandon Robinson? He was knocking around in our comments earlier. He was answering an awful lot of questions. He's a very knowledgeable guy. Please tell me who Brandon Robinson is. First person to tell me who Brandon Robinson is gets a prize. Let's do it. Yes, the CEO. It's kind of unfair me giving you the prize because you're already speaking to him. HOVR. Anyone else? You're already speaking to him. I can't really give you the prize. No? Fair enough. CEO. Okay, Dean. Right. So, guys, we have organized an interview with Brandon Robinson. It'll be taking place tomorrow. Guys, any questions you want answered, drop them into us. What we'll do, don't even drop them into the chat here because this chat goes down after the stream. What to do, drop them in the comments under the stream. We'll filter through them. What we'll do, I don't know how we'll prioritize questions. Any of the guys that are mad big into HOVR, I think what we'll do, we will prioritize them guys first. So what I'll do, I'll go back on some of the old videos, and anyone that was commenting about HOVR will get priority, because really we want to give everyone exactly what they wanted. We said it was the goal of the Hustle Brothers when we first started that we want to interview big CEOs. We want to get ourselves out there for the retail investor and convey information to the average retail investor. I'm a bit shell-shocked when I rang you straight away. I was like, right, Reese, you free tomorrow? And you know what? To be fair to Reese, straight away he agreed. He didn't even know what I was going to ask him. I could have asked him to rob a bank for me. But he agreed straight away. Guys, we will be interviewing Brandon Robson tomorrow. I'm excited about it, Reese.
Yeah. I was going to jump in on that. And I think that's basically what we wanted to do here, was to be able to basically branch between the CEOs and the common retail investor, and be able to be sort of the mouthpiece where we can ask the questions that the people that are enthusiastic and want to know all about their stock, and we'll be able to give you your chance to ask the questions that you've been sitting there thinking at home. And I think this would be a good time, obviously, to speak to someone in the eVTOL industry that obviously has a lot of expertise. And even if you're not in HOVR and you have questions related to the development of these eVTOL aircrafts or the vertiports or anything really, I think this would be a good time for us to ask and get an expert's opinion, and we can see a bit behind the curtain. So yeah, for me, I'm over the moon. It's going to be an exciting call, and yeah, it should be good.
I'm really interested in building a relationship with them. Do you know what? This is where, guys, you know me, I'm emotional. I'm the man that will come out and I will say exactly how I feel about situations. I really would love to have the opportunity at some point, maybe not within the next few months, but at some point, to be able to visit their facilities, to be able to meet and greet everyone, be able to have different interviews with different things, be able to see their aircraft in person. I think that would be a lot of value for any of our guys.
Yeah.
And really, guys, what I want you to do under that video, I believe we want to build an everlasting relationship with the likes of HOVR. We want to start covering. I can promise you as well, we agreed to do them weekly before they reached out to us. Well, I don't know. I only read that they had reached out to us earlier today. So I think they did reach out more or less on the day. So I'm going to be honest about that. I did only read it today, but they were very, very responsive. I'm not going to name the guy because I don't want everyone reaching out to him saying that Liam from the Hustle Brothers gave away my name. But the guy I was speaking to was very supportive of our project. Brandon himself was very commending of our channel. He came across, he answered all your guys' questions in there. He appreciated a lot of your feedback you had about the company. He's a very approachable guy. But Reese, it's going to be a bit weird, isn't it? It's me and you. It's me and you, yeah. Guys, I want you all to take a step back, yeah. Just because we have a following does not make us any different to any one of you guys here. I feel today the exact same as I felt over a year ago. I don't feel much different, yeah. Yeah, it's easier to speak on camera, but everything is repetition. The more you do it, anything in life, the more you do anything, it becomes. But No, I am a little bit nervous. That's what I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit shaky. We will deliver.
Yeah, you just got to bring out that inner Morgan Freeman, and that should get you over the line.
Morgan Freeman, Big Reese, just go for
Yeah.
it. Bros, I have 2 spare rooms when my kids are not here. Always welcome.
Thank you very much, Chris. We might be taking you up on that.
We will be taking you up on that. Why are you nervous? Well, I'll tell you my honest reasons why. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not going to make out I am a big man here. Look, me and Reese have only been content creators for a year. We're learning on the job. As in, yes, we do live streams every week, but we've never interviewed a CEO of a company on the NASDAQ. It'll be an experience. But you know what? It's a stepping stone to being able to interview many CEOs. I believe, honestly, hand on heart, guys, and I promise you, the Hustle brothers might sometimes get their timelines a little bit off skew, like you've said yourselves. We know where our investments are, our timing's off. But we do always deliver. You can't say we don't deliver. Yeah. I believe, honestly, within the next few years, we will interview HOVR, Vertical Aerospace, Joby, Archer. We haven't covered EHang that much, so I'm not going to put out that we're going to interview EHang CEO because at the moment, I think we need a lot of apologizing to do.
And we might need to learn Mandarin as well. So that'd be another stumbling block.
Oh no, I'm fluent.
Yeah. Get about 7 beers with me, and I'll give it a good shot.
No, don't worry. Have you ever used Duolingo? Yeah, I'll just start getting that up. Yeah.
Yeah. Google Translate. I don't know how it would flow in a video though using the Google Translate.
So, mate, every day is a school day, and this guy was a fighter pilot. He was just a normal guy, and you know what? He strikes me as just an average person, an everyday guy, and that's what is sort of comforting us a little bit. Look, me and Reese have openly said sometimes we come across as 2 fine, confident, beautiful, hardworking, muscular men. But the odd day you do come on here and you do have imposter syndrome, and it's not every day. Honestly, there's some streams I come on and I feel $1 million. There's other streams me and Reese could say to each other, one of us might be having an off day completely, and it might be, look, I'm not as confident today. It's not that you just have to trust your own ability.
Yeah.
But look, we reached out to many creators in the rocket lab space, and Chris reached out to us, and we now have a beautiful partnership with Chris with the Hayes Club. I wouldn't change that for the world. And look, I always say there's always bigger creators out there, but it's about finding the creator or the company or the person, the investment you're after.
Yeah.
That you connect with, that you have the best relationship with, because you're much more likely to keep it going. And that's what we have with Chris. To be a fighter pilot, you're definitely not an average Joe. No, I don't mean he's like...
I think more in terms of being down to earth rather than average man. Average height, average intelligence, all that.
Bag, did they go over the arch?
You're gonna have to go back.
I'm actually glad you missed it, bro.
yeah.
Because you would have hated everything we said, mate. I'll give you a overview of it quickly, Bag. There's about 2 points we agree with. The rest of them I think is pure fluff. That's it in a nutshell. Do you cover vertical aerospace? Aren't they in London? Couldn't you take a day trip? Well, first, it'd be very hard for me just because I'm in the Republic of Ireland. So yes, it's quite close, but no, I wouldn't be able to just drive there. However, yes, it is very close in comparison to Archer and Joby. Well, not saying that Archer with that Andrew now in the UK we could get
Yeah.
a trip
And I
down
don't
there.
know if they take walk-ins. I don't know. We could just walk up there and rock in.
With the hustle brothers, with the pilot, the average Joes.
Yeah.
But Vertical, we are speaking to Vertical. Vertical were very responsive to us for a while, and it's kind of it all coincided with remember our auntie died, and then it sort of just completely.
Yeah. Timings didn't go right, but we move.
But we are trying to reach back out to them. So you guys are not selling anything. Wait a minute, you guys are not selling anything, simply being one of us. Honestly, look, I'm not here to sell. Trust me. I've more to be doing than trying to sell on YouTube. Doesn't bother me. Did you read the full PDF? I knew they were bonk. Or you Bag of holding. I'd love to go on a call with you. And we can actually have a chat about
we could even read through that report on a video with Bag and have a discussion, because that might help.
Guys, who wants a video on us, me and Reese versus Bag in a debate, a respectful debate? There'll be no nastiness in it, but a respectful debate on, look, Bag, you can choose whether it's Archer, Joby, HOVR, Vertical,
or even just eVTOLs in general.
Or eVTOLs in general, yeah. I'd love to have a debate with you on it. Android, you're on top messages again. You're on top messages again, not all. I am confused. Andril is the next city over. If they don't lift a new model with 2 propellers vertically in the next 2 months, will you think they are full of it? I don't know about the next 2 months, but
yeah, I was going to say, I think something we've said all along, that it's not going to be. We're looking at a longer time span, and the fact that is the new technology. I think if we were sitting here in like a year's time and there was still no progress, then I'd be quite worried. But at the moment, I can see Joby are progressing, so they're proving that the concept is definitely feasible. So it's just for Archer to catch up. And I've said for a while that I didn't know if Archer were letting Joby sort of figure out their regulations, and we're just going to sort of piggyback off the back of it once that sort of tunnel had been made through the regulations.
So Newblade says you're only seeing the top messages from YouTube, not all messages, I believe. I completely apologize. Now I will go back on some of them. It's great people talking about this new sector, good or bad. It's all good. I do agree. I love that there's more creators coming out now. I honestly believe that the more of us that do talk about it, I'm not gonna.
I think as well the fact with the new companies that we're finding, and obviously the more companies there are, the bigger space gets, and the more eyes, the more attention. It all sort of goes hand in hand. So yeah, it's really good to see that coming out at the moment.
Archer 750, I'm a buyer. Last year they were in the freeze. 7 billion market cap, lol. 750 is a nice price, but look, I feel like we're after exiting that sort of level again. We've said it before that on the red days no one wants to buy, and then on the green days everyone wish they bought back at these mad levels. I just try not to get too bogged down in actual price targets. I still have a price target of around $20. If anyone hasn't seen that, I did do a video back in October why I believe it'd be $20 by the end of not the end of next year, the end of this year. So guys, if we've missed your comment, make sure to fire it back in, just because we're actually being flooded here. K-Dean, let's discuss bottom on Discord. Guys, while you're at it, please, more than ever, bang that subscribe button. because we're trying to grow this eVTOL space out. The more people that hear about it, the more people that watch it, the better it is for absolutely everyone, because we get more opinions across. It gives us more ideas, whether they're good or bad. If people are negative towards something, it gives us certain ideas on how we can come up with a bull case towards it. We looked through that short report there. I think there was a lot of, I don't know, scare tactics. It was done at the right time. If I read that prior to the earnings call, I wouldn't have been worried too much, because the fact that there was all this news coming out in one go. Reese, I want to quickly touch on too. So, Joby are partnered with Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines have a nice partnership with the LA Olympics 2028. They're announced as the official airline.
Sounds very familiar to someone else, doesn't it? In terms of that link.
Yeah. So, genuinely, do you think this whole LA Archer gets it, Joby gets it, do you just think it was just a bit of like, look, nothing? Sort of like they're both going to be there. We always knew they're both going to be there. It's great advertising for both, or do you think it's going to be so much more bigger for one of the companies?
I'm starting to fall into a bit of this cycle we have where I don't know if Archer are pushing more PR and Joby are doing a bit more of we wait till we do something and then report on it, rather than say that you're going to do it and then you always have that problem with under delivering. And I think that's probably why that report has come out now. But especially now with Joby, Joby's partnership with Delta, and Delta being one of the main sponsors of the LA Olympics, it's a no-brainer, surely. Surely that's one of the main stipulations they'll put in will be, oh, by the way, Joby have got to have access to certain areas. And they've also discussed about the problems that they have with the infrastructure for LA, and that could be a problem. So adding another mode of transport, would that be something LA would endorse? I'm pretty sure they would.
Yeah, and I just think, in general, Archer are going to be there. They're going to be at the stadium. They're going to be flying. I don't know, will be onto the pitches, but they'll be flying into that vertiport by SoFi Stadium. You'll have Joby at the airport, maybe taking them to their designated hotels. I just think it's great for the whole industry. I don't think we should get into this argument at the moment. Who's better, Archer, Joby? I don't think we should get involved in any of the stuff going around X that, look, Archer's better because they have this partnership, or Joby's better because they have this. Why not just enjoy it? Yeah, we're investors of both. So instead of looking who's better, why not just think, look, they're both growing. We had an amazing month when it came to Archer. They're still up like 51%. So why are we worried about a short report that comes out? In theory, this is only a pardon the pun, a short-sighted short report. It can easily be debunked if Archer achieve what we believe they're going to achieve. Look, if you're actually a long-term investor in Archer, you're not going to believe any of that, because you invested in the company because you believe that they can achieve these milestones. So why does it all of a sudden change your opinion that Culper? I can have a bet the majority of people had never heard of Culper before, but then all of a sudden they're going off everything that's said because it's being covered everywhere. Then you're having a lot of coverage around it, because this is how content works, guys. If you say the most controversial thing, if I come out and said something outrageous, yeah, everyone's going to share it to everyone because they want me to, or they want to see it, and then everyone just gets inquisitive.
Negativity sells as well, and then people want to see the reaction. They want to see what Adam will come out and say. The more you sort of push and like sort of slag something off, the more that people are sitting there waiting for their response. And it's sort of it's something that I hope doesn't sort of get left out in the open, because like sometimes the public make their mind up just on what the latest piece of news was. So I would quite like Adam to come out and almost debunk it, but do it by showing results. So they don't have to like specifically come out and say, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, addressing each item, but start releasing news of this is where the design is, this is the piloted test, this is the stage of manufacturing we're in, and it's like facts. And then what can they say then? That whole thing will be debunked within a month or two once they've like released all of that, and we'll be back to normal.
Yeah. And then I want to jump across. Kadeen, what money do people actually think it will make for Olympics? Big fluff.
So, yeah, I think jumping into that, I don't think we're thinking they're going to make money from the flights at the Olympics. I think it's more about the exposure that they're going to get, that the world will get to see the flights and get to see the crafts actually in motion, and it'll be a proof of concept for people. So I think that's what the main point is going to be.
How do you know what HOVR's range and speed will be when it's bigger than a toy? They all claim crazy things at first. Small toys can do things of physics. Look, we're going speaking to the CEO tomorrow. I'm not getting involved in a debate about that at the moment. Kadeen's asking, does anyone have stock twits? Archer bringing in the torch to the opening ceremony. I do believe there will be. Do you guys worry about the limitations of Archer and Joby's crafts in range and battery weight compared to HOVR's hybrid and their range and speed? No, because I believe Archer and Joby will be doing 5 to 10 more trips. They'll be able to do multiple trips. What is their range? Something like 240 miles, something. I know HOVR's is around 800 kilometers or so. And then what their speed? Look, I don't think a HOVR would be going at 450 kilometers an hour inside the city. You'd be going at light speed. You'd imagine you're sitting down, you're on your way to work, and next thing, like, you'd need like a jet seat on that. My God. No, I think they're going to be more long range. I do think it's going to be a lot more cargo or like regional flights. Look, we'll ask CEO tomorrow where he sort of sees it going. Or is it? We could be firing down the wrong alley completely. Ask HOVR how much their prototype weighs. Is it battery only? Okay, bag. If I drive a taxi cab during the Olympics, I believe I'll make more money than they will during the same time. Big fluff to get more investment money. Yeah, but I don't think they're doing it for money. They're not doing it to sell anything. Yeah, they're doing it for PR, but isn't that what everyone does? Nike or Coca-Cola sponsor the World Cup, but they don't necessarily make extreme money during the World Cup, but it's all the hype around it and like everyone
you get on it as well.
Yeah,
everyone across the world is looking at it.
No, it's hybrid. It charges in flight. HOVR is hybrid. 7 people, 500 miles, 250 miles an hour. I think it's not a hybrid, and they want it.
Oh man,
you agree with anything? Do you genuinely think the whole Nasdaq lies? They raise very good points in their short report. They did raise good points, but I don't know why it's a major like, I don't know. There was nothing there that made me go, sugar, I need to get out of Archer quick.
Yeah, I think we discussed it in the earnings report. I think like you just have to take it with a pinch of salt. I think the fact that they maybe had targets they were meant to hit and they didn't hit them is the major problem. But as we said before, they're sort of navigating through uncharted territories at the moment and with the FAA. So it wouldn't surprise me if we do hit a few stumbling blocks along the way.
Ask HOVR if they've shown a hybrid fly-in and how much their prototype weighs. Okay, mate. It's jet gas and electric power. Liftoff and vertical landing is electric. Do you guys know that HOVR are based in North Toronto? Now they get a lot of cold weather. Their craft will be built to fly in cold weather. As we know, the freezing cold affects the battery life. Do you know what? I am not even going to take credit for this. Guys, go into the video we done about HOVR. Brandon actually answers it directly himself there. So I'm not even going to summarize it. You can jump in. He actually breaks it down quite nicely, and I think I'd be doing them an injustice if I try and summarize it here. Okay. Ultra overhyped, in my opinion. As you know, I keep saying, hybrid is a forward-looking statement. Multiple short trips on good weather. HOVR are looking to do city-to-city travel. Yeah, where I think Archer and Joby are more or less going to be focused
into city.
Yeah. Only in good weather, it's longer range. Archer has a petrol-based hybrid prototype for the military, and Joby has a hydrogen hybrid prototype. I have less confidence in hydrogen because leaks are to prevent and disastrous. So Archer, yeah, they're doing their hybrid in partnership with Anduril. We know they're going to be more or less the supplier, and they sell it, and Anduril go away with it and do whatever they want with the contracts. The hydrogen Joby, we haven't heard an awful lot lately about it. I would like it covered a little bit more, but I think they're just so laser focused on trying to get this certification line. Did I read somewhere that they actually converted one of their hydrogen ones back to a fully electric?
I'm not
or
sure
was it
about
the other way around?
I think it might have been the other way around. I think their fifth aircraft might have been the hybrid one. But I think that will be that'll be used for military use as well. With the hybrid, with the extra range, I'm pretty sure that Joby will be pushing more into the military contracts. But as we were saying earlier, I think they sort of wait until there is actually news to disclose before disclosing it.
Hydra, I'm back. Did they disclose the announcement? Hydra, just for you, just because I know you're a big HOVR investor, we're interviewing Brandon Robinson, your very own CEO, tomorrow. So if you've any questions that you want asked to Brandon, make sure to drop them after this video, not in the comments here, just because if you drop them in the comments here, they just disappear. Me and Reese, by the time we end the stream, they're gone. And then look, we haven't hours to be going back scrolling certain times. So drop it in the comments after. I'm a bit confused about this hybrid word. If it's 2 fuel power, it's full higher risk, dead weight to carry. It's 2 flight modes. It's like HOVR. That's great. Didn't we all think we were going to dilute after that pump? And didn't Adam G didn't sell a share as of yesterday? SEC. I'm having a lot of good, bad, and indifferent on Archer. Dylan, you were exactly one of the guys I just knew would get it. Dylan doesn't panic, and this is what I love about him. Dylan, what did you think of this culprit report? Do you think it was a bit overhyped? Do you think people reacted too quickly? Or do you think, look, there were some valid points in there? Please let me know. Congrats on the interview tomorrow. You guys will do great. Dylan has been here from the very start with the Hossa Brothers. Back when I had a red background and back when Reese was jumping all over the place. So he knows how far we have come. Dylan, yeah, it's a scary one. But look, we're doing it for you. HOVR is only one that can be used in bad weather. I don't agree with that. I think they all have addressed the likes of de-icing and that. We did discuss it back in, it must be in the eVTOL Weekly 3 or 4. We done a big deep dive into it. I want your opinions on robotaxis and tunnels competition too. So you want our opinions on robotaxis versus air taxis. I believe they'll work hand in hand. I've said it before. look, we have line bikes and we also have Uber. Sometimes they cost more or less the same for the same trip, but look, they both work hand in hand. If you want to go to an airport, you want to be somewhere quick, want to be on a business meeting, you just want a bit of luxury, don't sit in traffic, go in an eVTOL. If you're just going down the road to the shops, yes, you're going to go in a robotaxi. But why can't they work hand in hand? Why can't the robotaxi pick you up, drop you to the vertiport, you fly, robotaxi picks you up, and away you go? We've discussed this before. Hydra, yes, but I've only had a few since, so I can't remember. The GOAT is there. Hi, Dylan. And Dylan really is the GOAT in this.
Yes, yeah.
Dylan, let me know if you ever want to come back on for chat again, because I really enjoyed that video we done with Dylan that time.
100%.
Nicola was hydrogen too. Drop the text, mate. Do you know what? New Blade does keep me on my toes. I'll drop it here for you, robot. There we go. So don't forget to like and subscribe for more. And you can also join the community on Discord. So we do have an awful lot of active eVTOL members in the Discord. These guys talk 24/7. We jump in and out. Look, I don't think our time zones line up perfectly all the time with some of the guys, but we will try our utmost to get back to you within a few hours. We also then have an eVTOL fans or investors community. That's growing by the day. And I do need to thank Newblade for this, because Newblade has really, really been pushing this out. He would always remind me when I posted in the wrong place. I was posting on our own X. Look, Reese, I never had an X, until we had this channel. So I just post. I didn't realize I was posting in the wrong place. I was posting on my page instead of into a community. But New Blade's keeping me on my toes. But that is exactly why I have him as a mod. So thank you, New Blade. So Haze Club, understand? Yes, victory. Military will love HOVR. I really believe they will. Dylan has also posted as well, and this is why we love you too, Dylan. HOVR using a turbine or piston engine. Where does the smoke come out of? We will ask. Look, I don't want to explain certain concepts in this and then be completely wrong and completely backtrack tomorrow. So anything about HOVR, I'm going to leave until tomorrow's interview. Been re-listening to the owner's call and done with the opening statement. Interesting when you go back and listen. It's really in the details. Let us know what you mean there, Dylan. That sounds really interesting. I believe HOVR is EV only. But why? They've came out and said the hybrid. Reese, are we just too trusting of people?
Yeah, it's definitely a hybrid, but that's what they're advertising, and that's what they've sold it to be. So I'm 99.9% sure, but I've been wrong before.
Dylan, my easy answer is Jimmy Fallon's personal net worth of 70 billion, offering them 1 million. Sorry, it's not hard for him to turn down that offer. Not concerned. If they offered them 100 million, maybe. Do you know, they could offer me and you $1 million each. I'd happily. But do you know what? Yeah, I've said it before. To be the first guy to do it, I don't know. $1 million could sway me, you know.
I think
$1 million could sway me. But yeah, it's interesting what not Reese. It's interesting what Dylan's saying. However, I don't know. If someone offered you 10,000 quid to fly in it, would you fly in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think $1 million quid, if it was only worth 70 million, I do think he'd take it. If Archer paid him 600,000 for that whole thing, I think $1 million. I do think he'll fly in it. HOVR is not EV only. Dylan is well informed, he really is. Only HOVR will be certified for all weather. Okay, we'll ask him that. The only question I really have for Mr. Robinson is where does he plan to get the rest of the necessary funding? We will address that. I promise you, we'll address that. Hayes Club, you're very kind to say that. We all try best. We'll discuss it with Dylan on our call. Yeah, we honestly will. Is the hover big enough for special? Look, post some of these questions after this stream just because they go down. No, Blake could. Thanks, mates. To be fair, half the scale is only electric, I'm pretty sure. Oh, okay. So, Chris, you've added 5k into HOVR. That's very interesting. HOVR's market cap is quite small at the moment. If they pull off what some of us believe they can pull off, some people are going to make a lot of money. If they don't pull it off, I'm afraid I don't even think it'll be bad. I think it'll be detrimental. I think like the company will cease to be trading. So it swings and roundabouts. You either are gonna be in for a massive ride. No, you're gonna be in for a massive ride. Whether it's to the upside or the downside, I cannot tell, but maybe we can hear more about it tomorrow. Race, I've really enjoyed this one. So guys, my name's Liam. This has been my co-host Race. This is eVTOL Weekly. We're here every week. I want to thank every single one of you for being here. We will interview Brandon Robinson. We will, going forward, look to interview Vertical, Archer and Joby. But the only way we can do that is by more and more people getting behind us, joining our communities, hitting that subscribe button, and hitting the like button. This is my call out to you guys. Look, we don't ask for much, but what we do ask for is just to follow us along this journey so we can bring you guys the information that you want. Race, is there anything you want to say to the guys?
Just a big thank you for everyone for coming. It's been a great stream. It's amazing to see so many HOVR investors in here. And yeah, we'll see you same time next week.
Race, I'll see you tomorrow for the big day.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, guys.